All right. Welcome everybody to the November 16th Planning and Zoning meeting. We call this meeting to order. Let's first start with roll call. Make sure we have a quorum to meet here. Rosalie?
Chairman Schlosser. Commissioner Arnett.
Here.
Commissioner Dan Zeisen. Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Landau.
Here.
Commissioner Lawrence. Commissioner Lindblom.
Here.
Commissioner Montoya.
Here.
Commissioner Swart.
Here.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I guess we can pass over this electing of the chair. We're going to move with this. Couple of announcements before we begin. This meeting has been noticed in accordance with open meeting laws, ARS 38431, and the agendas are available within 24 hours of each meeting in the Maricopa County Planning and Development Office, and are also available on the Planning and Development website 1 week prior to the hearing at maricopa.gov/planning. The staff reports prepared for each agenda item shall become part of the permanent record for each case. With respect to the hearing process, cases will be considered in the order they appear on the agenda. That's easy since there's one. For each case, the applicant will be given a set amount of time. I don't know that we'll have a long line here today, so we'll pass through a lot of this stuff. If there is anyone, we'll call on anyone, and we'll also reach out to those that are online as well, and we'll do a roll call vote at the end of, I guess, the one presentation here. So next item on our agenda is the minutes for the October 5th hearing. Are there any comments or questions on those minutes from any of the commissioners? All right, hearing none, we'll accept those into the record. Thank you. And so let's jump right into our regular agenda item. And would staff please present that to us?
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. Today, staff is pleased to present to you the White Tank Grand Avenue Area Plan.
And could you put that microphone a little closer?
Yes.
I think that would be helpful
There we
for
go.
those listening online.
Better?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. Adam Cannon, Planning and Development. Today, staff is pleased to present to you the White Tank Grand Avenue Area Plan, which is one of the sub-area plans in the Vision 2030 Comprehensive Plan. So on the agenda today, we're just going to discuss a little bit about the project team, the schedule and the process for the update, and why we did update the plan, as well as the plan content, which is really the meat of what we're discussing today. So our project team included Tom Ellsworth, our director, Darren Gerard, our planning division manager, Matthew Holm, the planning supervisor, as well as I. And at the start of the process, we hired a consultant in Logan Simpson, and their team included Bruce Migan, who's a project advisor, Terry Hogan, who's sitting next to me, she's the project manager, and Michaela Dumphy, who's online as assistant project manager. And we also had sub-consultants, including Kimley Horn on issues involving transportation and water, and Elliott D. Pollock and Company for economic development. For Terry worked with the county for 13 years prior to working for Buckeye, and she was director at Buckeye, and then she moved on to Logan Simpson after she retired from there. So we really appreciated her institutional knowledge coming back to the county to work with us on this process, and really appreciated her. So the development of the plan started in spring of this year. Our consultant, we had a kickoff meeting, and then our consultant then prepared an existing conditions document, and as well as the public participation plan. After that, our team began outreach to the community and then moved on to drafting the plan. And today we brought that plan draft for consideration by the commission. So as you know, last year we conducted an area plan analysis which identified the White Tank Grand Avenue area plan as a candidate for updating. There are a number of reasons for that. The biggest one include the significant growth pressures that are occurring in the Northwest Valley and the amount of annexation that's occurred. The age of the plan, it was last updated in 2000, and we also wanted to help it align better with our overall comprehensive plan. So the plan document itself includes 4 sections, including an overview of the plan, which is mainly an introductory. It talks about the plan area and its purpose. We have a community engagement chapter, as well as plan elements, which is really the meat of the plan. So chapter 1, like I said, is an introductory chapter. As you may know, the county has an overarching comprehensive plan, which is Vision 2030, and that is a decision-making guide for accommodating future growth with broad policies for development in unincorporated areas. An area plan is a subsection of the comprehensive plan accounting for unique conditions and needs for a specific area in the county and is smaller in scale. The area plan includes goals, policies, a future land use map with the ultimate goal being to support the Vision 2030 plan. Area plans are also used in the development of plans or projects of federal and state and county agencies. They're used in rezoning requests, which come back to this body. And you'll notice in our staff reports a section that considers consistency with the plan in our recommendations for approval or denial to the commission. The important thing to note is that the plan serves as guidelines or policies for decision makers, but not regulations like the zoning ordinance is. Next slide on here shows you the area of the plan in context to the rest of Maricopa County. The plan area makes up 8% of the county and is 727 square miles in size. This total includes the incorporated areas in the plan area. Unincorporated area comprises approximately 590 square miles of the plan area. So it's a big area that we're working with here. Since 2000, the planning area boundaries have changed. The reasons for this is primarily because of annexations to Buckeye, Peoria, and Goodyear. The size of the plan area reduced by 27 square miles. Also, we identified the northwest sector as a growth area and expanded the map to where its western boundary is now at Vulture Mine Road. And then in deciding on the plan area, we also made sure to keep and retain the high noise and accident potential zones of Luke Air Force Base and the auxiliary field. Next, you'll see a map of the municipal planning areas. This map is really important because it helps staff understand which communities we need to interact with when development proposals occur and where the county can anticipate annexation or significant development may occur over the long term. The White Tank Grand Avenue plan retains 3 core principles from the comprehensive plan and further has its own strategic priorities. Through outreach and public involvement, we were able to identify these strategic priorities, which include improving unsafe and congested intersections, protecting scenic corridors, views, and open spaces, limiting light pollution to protect dark skies, discouraging development that is incompatible with Luke's mission and operation, ensuring that development in the county has appropriate services for water, wastewater, education, and public safety. Going on to chapter 2 of the plan, this chapter covers community engagement. We've undertaken significant community engagement strategies, including the formation of a project advisory committee or plan advisory committee, PAC for short, which is a broad group of key advisors to the plan. Our plan advisory committee helped greatly forming the strategic priorities that I just discussed. In addition, we had our consultant hold individual outreach discussions with a wide variety of stakeholders. We also held 4 community meetings. 2 of those community meetings were virtual and 2 were in person. The first meeting was a kickoff meeting that was held on July 19th as an introduction to the plan. The second meeting was held in person at Sun City West to accommodate people in the Sun City West and Sun City communities. And then for our third meeting, we appeared in person at Morristown Elementary on September 27th to be accessible to residents who live in rural areas of the Northwest Valley. And then our last meeting was virtual and focused on unveiling the draft plan for review and comment. In overall, the meetings, we had over 145 residents that participated. We also put together a project website, and that website hosted information about the plan and online questionnaires. We received 378 responses overall to the 3 questionnaires that we put online. Some of the responses included top reasons to live, work, and recreate in the area. We looked at top issues and areas to improve. These helped form the strategic priorities along with our PAC as well. And we also asked people what their priorities, goals were that live in the community. And again, these track well with the strategic priorities that I just discussed. Chapter 3, the plan elements, is really the meat of the plan. And the development of these elements were informed by the input from those who participated in meetings and the questionnaires. As you can see on the screen, there are several elements within the plan that cover various topics. All of them except for economic growth are elements that are required by ARS. The optional economic growth element is included because it's a priority of Maricopa County decision makers. On this next slide, the structure of the plan in each element has a discussion of the topic followed by analysis and then goals and then policies. The analysis, goals, and policies then lead to the creation of a future land use map, which is the ultimate vision of the area. Next, I'd like to go over some key factors that lead into the creation of that future land use map. First, we looked at land ownership. As you can see, a significant portion of land is privately owned, while the other half is either owned by the Bureau of Land Management, the State Land Department, or is a park or military owned. Also factoring into the plan is our network of open space. As you may know, there are 3 recreation areas in the plan area, including the White Tank Mountain Regional Park, the Vulture Mountain Recreation Area, and the Hassayampa River Preserve, along with the Maricopa Trail System. Our public outreach indicated a desire to protect and enhance existing open spaces throughout the plan area. We also looked at plans for future transportation networks, including MAG and McDOT scheduled improvements in the planned I-11 alignment. Residents felt concerned with the level of traffic congestion. While the corridor improvements are shown on the map, these improvements are unfunded, and until funding is allocated, they won't develop. But it was important for us to show the planned improvements to the community and also where those were going, because that tracked well with the growth areas that we saw. The next slide shows the projected population growth in the area. By 2040, the population is expected to be nearly double what it is now. However, the vast majority of that growth is expected to occur within incorporated jurisdictions like Surprise and Buckeye. That small gold bar that you see on your slide there, that represents the county share of the population growth, and we're expecting it to be fairly minimal. This next slide also shows the projected population growth and where that growth is occurring. And where we're seeing most of the major growth, where we're expecting that to occur, is in the Surprise area along US 60, for example, or Grand Avenue. This next slide is about employment growth in the area. Like population, employment is expected to grow dramatically in the next few decades. Again, much of this growth is going to occur within jurisdictions and similar areas as the population growth. So with these factors in play, we revised the future land use map. The future land use map serves as a tool and a guide to decision makers and was designed based upon the feedback from outreach and our existing conditions and analysis of the area. Some of the key changes to the future land use map include land use designations being converted to comprehensive plan categories. We added 2 potential growth areas to forecast greater density and intensity. Bureau of Land Management land that was previously designated as rural has now been changed to open space. And then conversely, Arizona State Land Department land that was previously designated as open space or proposed open space has now been changed to single-family rural. We also added approved comprehensive plan amendments that have been added with their land use categories. Also, we added DMPs to the future land use map. We added the approved scenic corridors, designated floodways, and special flood hazard areas. We also designated areas where aggregate resources are found. And then lastly, all incorporated areas within the planning area are shown as gray or light blue within the high noise and accident potential zones. Those areas are not governed by county land use policy, but are shown for continuity of the planning area. A breakdown of land use designations shows that 47% is designated as single family rural, with 30% as open space. So 77% of the plan area is either rural or open space designated. Another 10% is single family transitional. Another 8% is military compatible. That's those areas of land that are within the high noise and accident potential zone of the base in the auxiliary field. And then we had single family, large lot, and mixed use employment and the other designations rounding out the remaining 5%. Up on your screen, you'll see a larger version of the land use map and its categories. They're color coded to make it usable for staff and decision makers. There are 2 growth areas within the future land use map. The first growth area, which is zoomed in here, is located along Grand Avenue, just northwest of the auxiliary field in the high noise accident potential zone of the auxiliary field. Burlington Northern Santa Fe is developing a major employment center and an intermodal logistics hub within Surprise. Additionally, there are large master plan communities that have either received a CPA, a development master plan, or a zoning entitlement through the county. The second growth area is located just west of where the 303 meets Northern Avenue. This area has several master plan communities that have been entitled and are beginning to develop housing units. What's important about these growth areas is that these are where we expect most of the development activity to occur within the time horizon of the plan. So in conclusion, staff believes that the White Tank Grand Avenue area plan wisely balances future growth with the vision, wants, and needs of the area citizens. The goals and policies within each element represent practical guidance to decision makers, which can be used to make sound future land use decisions. As a result, staff is requesting that the commission recommend approval of the White Tank Grand Avenue area plan to the Board of Supervisors. And at this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. And it's not lost on us when you look at the acknowledgements and you guys put your name at the bottom. We know who's doing the heavy lifting here. So thank you. Thank you for that great report. I'll have a couple comments, but any questions at this point for our staff? Or just curious. This is a mountain of work here. So awesome. I love the maps. The maps help me out a lot. Growth area A, scenic corridor, but it's a growth area. Help me understand kind of that going forward. Kind of, it seems to kind of growth area, but scenic corridor.
Yes.
What are we going to do to keep it a scenic corridor with growth?
So the scenic corridor that occurs in that growth area A is a regulatory scenic corridor. We have many development proposals that occur in that area, and they basically develop in line with the scenic corridor requirements, usually with an extra setback and then natural desert materials. So we do have proposals that come through on a regular basis in those. So I think we can reconcile the two over time. Of course, there is going to be annexation that occur in the growth area, and that is expected to occur. You know, with the BNSF logistics hub, that's expected to annex into Surprise, and once it does so, it's going to be out of the scenic corridor. It'll be under Surprise's jurisdiction. So that's what we expect to happen in those corridors. That answers the question.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, this planning is awesome, and that balance is going to be tricky going forward, but clearly you've thought about it. And, you know, we've had cases before where it's a scenic corridor, so they think nothing should happen there, but it's a feel, and so anyway, we can talk more about that, but thank you for that great presentation. Any other questions? Anyone online? We'll go to, okay.
I have comments.
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Montoya.
Just two basic comments. The first is I'm really glad to see that we were able to take into account the concerns of the dark sky folks. I know that in the past there's been some tension with those representatives, particularly when we were discussing the billboards along major freeways. Certainly where I live on the west side on the 202, we had a lot of representation. And so I'm glad to see that where we can take into account areas in our county, take into account their concerns. I'm really glad to see that, and pleased to see that the president of the Wickenburg Dark Sky Association wrote a letter in support of this plan. So I'm glad to see that. And then congratulations, you guys did an awesome job. I know that, you know, you take into account the best data that you can, that's available out there. You're looking at projecting for trends, taking into account community input. My family moved into the original square mile of Surprise in the late 50s. So I've seen nothing but growth in that area. My brother served on the Surprise City Council for 12 years when it was just starting to explode. My family, the majority of my family still lives in that area. So for me, it's, I take great pride in being able to share this with my larger extended family that lives in that area so that they can see the growth that's coming. And it's, I mean, the projected growth and the graphs that you showed, it's explosive what's going to happen in that area. So to the extent that, you know, we can take a measured approach in making sure that everybody's concerns are taken into account, I really congratulate you and commend you for doing a really good job on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Swart.
Thank you, Chairman. Just want to take a couple minutes. This was a lot of stuff to go through, and I know we all had an opportunity and you gave us plenty of time to see it. And to me, it's amazing. And Tom, I want to thank you and all of your staff and certainly the consultants and everybody else, Mr. Peck, everybody that worked on this, because I had a chance to sit on the Phoenix Plan 2025 and spend 16 months, 17 of us for the entire city. This is the best work I've ever seen, the best exhibits, and very thorough, very professional. I really want to thank you and the staff for all of this, because I know what kind of time this takes to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. And there'll be a time for more comments here at the end, but I think we'd like to hear from Terry Hogan. If you'd like to say a few things. Nice to see you again. Feels like the band's back together in a way. This is really nice. Sounds like yeah, this is good. Sounds like we got the right consultant for this project. So if you wouldn't share a few thoughts with us.
Well, thank you, Chairman Arnett and members of the commission. I'd love to say quite a few words, but I'll keep it really brief. And first of all, I wanted to thank the county for giving us, you know, the job and bringing us on. It really has been a full circle moment for me coming back and working on this plan. The county staff is incredible, as you know, and it's been a wonderful process. It's been very inclusive. We've been nimble, we've been flexible, trying to get out into the community where we need to hear people. And I think the plan is an excellent balance between accommodating growth and embracing the inevitable of growth and change, the housing shortage that we have. We talk to all different sorts of people, so it embraces that, but it also protects what people love in that area. So the open space, the rural communities are out there. There's protections built in and transitions. And so it's a wonderful plan of balance. And I'm really proud to work on it. I'm getting goosebumps, and I almost feel like I'm going to tear up. But I think it's an award-winning plan. I think everyone that's worked on it should be just incredibly proud. And I thank you for allowing me to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all your great efforts. Just one follow-up question, and I think last time we touched on this, and I saw the data of how many people showed up, and there was pictures of people at that outreach, and how involved was the advisory council? And either of you can answer that. And then the other question is, of the large landowners in this area, how involved were they? What was the hurdle that you reached out to? Because I know you did, and you reached out to them, but how involved or how much interaction was there? Just to give me a sense, right? Not real detailed, but give me a sense.
So with the Plan Advisory Committee, the first question you had, we held 3 meetings. They were heavily involved with forming the strategic priorities of the plan. And then as far as the large landowners, we did hold a meeting in near Morristown Elementary for the large rural landowners that lived in that area. And we advertised these very broadly. Terry, I don't know if there's anything more you wanted to add.
Was there much response?
Right. So just adding on to that, with the PAC, the county established that committee early on, so it was broad and diverse. Not only did we meet with them and they guided the process, but they acted as ambassadors to get the word out. So multifaceted, trying to get the word out, to get that input. Like I said in the last meeting, would have loved to hear from every single person and get a voice from every single person. Almost impossible to do, but we have a good representation. And these PAC members were relentless in getting the word out. Sun City West, Sun City brought us in. We held a meeting in Sun City West. It was well attended. Same with the rural communities. And going out into Morristown Elementary, we got wonderful comment from the superintendent of Morristown Elementary saying, "Look, I know we're difficult. These are my people. I know we're difficult, but they felt heard." And that is just amazing to be able to do that. We talked to the proving grounds, so representatives of Toyota Proving Grounds, so some of the very large owners out in that area. We talked to development and zoning attorneys that represent large holdings in that area to make sure that we heard, and the county provided flexibility in that plan, as well as protection. So yes, I hope we answered your question, but we tried to get out and talk to everybody.
Yeah, and I know you did, and it's just more of a general comment. I appreciate the thorough nature of what you do, and it's so neat to see this outreach. So, Mr. Dory.
Mr. Chairman, we also just want to quickly acknowledge Eric Hernandez as the representative from this body on the PAC.
I did see that, Commissioner Hernandez. Well done. Thank you for being a part of that. And that's the great part of this whole process. And we'll come back. We'll probably have a couple comments here, but I think there's a couple people who might be online. But any questions, we'll come back and we'll talk as a commission in a second here. But any questions right now? Okay. I do think there's one person that I see here, and I want to check with our online team. Is Sherry Hamlin on the line?
I'm here.
Go ahead, please. We'd love to hear from you now.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is informative and I enjoy it. And it is a dynamic area, and Adam's done a great job at answering my questions. But I wanted to bring to your attention something I just read, and I think it's very important, is that U.S. News annual rankings of the best places to retire, Metro Phoenix has dropped to 129. And of course, the reasons are obvious: heat, dust, expensive real estate, and lack of character. And speaking of character, Tucson came in way ahead of Phoenix at 103, and they cited that Tucson had managed to maintain character. And I think that's something very important when you're thinking about all this development. And it also, to me, raises a red flag that the projections for population growth are not perhaps as strong as represented in this report. In fact, new data from the American Community Survey shows that Arizona added 282,729 residents from other states between 2001 and 2022, but lost 204,734 to other states, leading to a net in-migration of 77,995. So if you think about that, if the the 282 contains a lot of retirees, perhaps because we've dropped down to a low level. You know, the net in-migration may not be as strong as projected in this report. So this is the type of thing that should be monitored on a regular basis, and it has obviously will have obvious effects on what is built where. So thank you again, and that was what I wanted to report on.
Thank you. Appreciate you being with us today and sharing your comments with us, Cheryl. Any questions for Cheryl from the commission? All right. Thank you very much for your time. Is there anyone else online? Team, I'm asking our team here that has a raised hand or all right. Thank you. So, well, good. I think everyone's had a chance that would like to speak. So let's now return back to the commission. Would any other commission discussion or anything, any questions, clarifications for staff? Anyone else on staff wish to speak on this? We'd like to hear from you, Mr. Ellsworth.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I would really just like to recognize Adam Cannon as our project manager on this, his efforts in coordination with our consulting team. I'd also like to recognize Terry Hogan and her team and their ability to help us coordinate primarily with the nice plan that you're seeing in front of us, as well as the tremendous amount of outreach that was done in this. The coordination of our neighborhood meetings, the virtual meetings, the PAC meetings themselves, and the coordination of the stakeholders meetings, all of those things, and the amount of effort and was taken into this. I really do want to recognize both Adam and Terry and her team for those. This represents a lot of effort on our part. As Terry mentioned, it's a very balanced plan, and that balance comes between the partnership of what is in the unincorporated areas of Maricopa County into what are the growth areas in the municipal areas and how those interact. That is the primary thing that comes out of this plan. How will we deal with that growth that's projected in the future? And I just wanted to make those recognitions before you concluded what you were to do.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate Tom and everyone's great work on this. So to be clear, for all those that are listening online and those that have been a part of this, there might be some adjustments down the road. There just may be. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a job probably, right? But this is what good planning looks like. This is exactly what it looks like. You go to the public, you get input from people, you get input from shareholders, and you don't rush through it. You include everyone, and so these are fun meetings because this is what good planning feels like. And thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? I heard a voice there. Who was that? Commissioner Montoya.
Lindblom.
We'll come right back to you, Commissioner Lindblom. Commissioner Montoya, go ahead first.
I just want to commend whoever designed this. It is stunningly beautiful, very warm, and the combination of the nature, the development, and agriculture, and then blended it in with the color scheme and the design. Very professional, very nice. Somebody looking at this cover would want to open it to see what and read the plan.
Council just asked me to reiterate for the record that she's referring to the cover of the plan document.
I think on that note too, in reading it, I don't think there was a comma out of place. So this was very amazing.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lindblom, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to voice appreciation to the county, Tom's leadership there. Adam is like a sleeping giant down there. County just works hard every day. Terry and your team, appreciate each of you. These are documents that help us make really tough decisions at times down the road that impact people. And it's great getting the input from the community, all those that were a part of the input. We just appreciate it as a commission. I certainly appreciate it as cases come in. This gives us a real guide, and thankful for it. So just wanted to express that appreciation, and the job well done.
Thank you very much. Okay. Any other comments? If not, I will entertain a motion, and I don't know if Mr. Hernandez can make that. Sure, he can. Sure you can. So,
Hey guys, this is Commissioner Hernandez. I make a motion to recommend approval of the White Tanks plan as presented by staff.
I second that motion.
there is a motion by Commissioner Hernandez and a second by Commissioner Montoya. Let's take a roll call vote, please, Rosalie.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Landau,
Yes.
Commissioner Lindblom,
Yes.
Commissioner Montoya,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes.
Chairman Arnett.
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion recommending approval by a vote of 6-0.
Thank you very much. Carries unanimously. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Is there any other matters before we adjourn today? Oh, the matter legally says Happy Thanksgiving. So enjoy your time with your families, and this meeting is adjourned. Oh.
Very much for your time.